Hey guys, it's been a bit since I've been able to upload, but we're back to more Lyre. And I should be able to upload more often again, so hopefully we can finish Lyre soon. Thank you. The sun is already beginning to set, and the temperature is dropping fast. I walk over to the bench and lay down on it, using the blanket as a sort of cushion. Small pains work their way throughout my body, and up to my head, keeping me from worrying about how chilly it is down here. I probably should have asked Lyle if I could get someone to send Leaf down here. He probably doesn't want to see me right now, but I'm definitely in need of some medicine. Something to ease the pain. At least I can figure out what's going on. At least until I can figure out what's going on. I just hope that's not anything lethal or anything with lasting effects. When did this even start? Only a few weeks ago, I think. To think that only a little over a month ago I was back in Erin. My room was so comfortable, I had my own tower in the castle, which overlooked the entire capital and the ocean beyond. I'd watch the sunset over the horizon every evening while drinking the finest wine. The sun's golden light would bounce off the tops of the roofs and cast a yellow glow onto the misty air above. It was a pampered life, but much better than that of my childhood, but I wasn't very happy. I rest my head on the pillow and close my eyes, trying to think of something other than my situation or the pain my body feels. Back then, every day was the same. I'd work for hours every day, and then what? Sometimes I would just sit in my room reading a book. Other times I would visit the local brothel and try to have a night full of pleasure. Those nights were only full of temporary joy, though. Those men only took pleasure in my company because they were paid to. Because they were paid to. Do I go on the commissioning artist rant? I don't want to go on the commissioning artist rant. But isn't commissioning artists kind of like prostitution? Like, sometimes, like, I think about, like, commissioning artists to, like, draw, like, my characters and stuff. But, like, you know, like, there's no love in it, you know? Like, you can pay an artist to, like, draw your character. But that doesn't mean they're loving it, you know? They're not drawing your character because they like your character. They're drawing your character because you're paying them to, you know? It's just like prostitutes. Right. Prostitutes don't do stuff with people because they love them. Prostitutes do stuff with people because you're paying them, you know? There's no love in it, right? Whenever you pay an artist to draw a character, there's no love in it, you know? They're just doing it for the money. They're just in it for the cash, you know? Anyway, that's the commissioning artist room. Obviously, it's not actually like that, right? Like, artists, you know, they like drawing, so that's why they draw things. There is an intrinsic love to it, right? But I don't know, I was just thinking about that earlier. I was just thinking about that the other day. These men only took pleasure in my company because they were paid to. At the end of the night, I was left feeling pretty empty. It was only a little over a year ago when I was that naive. Still am. In spite of what's happened, I can't help but think being sent here was the best thing that ever happened to me. For the past month, life has felt like it's worth living. On the road here, I reminisced on the stories I read and the songs I heard of the lands beyond Erin. It made things seem exciting and simple. The songs lie, though. They tend to always do that. There is one thing that I can be correct in my judgment on, however. I've met a gallant knight who loves me for who I am. Someone who doesn't want anything from me. All he wants is me. And I love him. But I can't fully rely on him to solve this predicament I'm in, as much as I wish I could. I'll need to be able to find my own way out of the situation when the time comes. Need to play this smart. I lay there for what feels like a few more minutes with my mind jumping between thoughts. The pain in my head isn't going away either, as time passes faster and faster. In fact, it's getting worse. Having my eyes closed at this point just hurts, so I open them. The sun is set over the mountains. Its rays shining into the sky above are just barely visible. The moon is already high enough among the stars, as I watch as a small flurries of snow drift in through the window. Moonlight refracts through the snow, making each piece sparkle and glitter like stars. They land in a puddle on the ground and melt into the rest of the muddy water. For some reason, this visual fills me with a sense of sadness. I consider covering up the barred window with a blanket to allow for better sleep tonight, but I don't have anything to hang it up with. I don't even have the desire to sleep anyway. The last thing I need is to slowly lose my sanity in the cell after having more nightmares. Korewa. He's getting the dimensional scream. Ah! Another sharp pain surges through my body like lightning, causing me to sit up. A distorted, violent image flashes across my vision. My heart is racing, and despite the cold, I can feel myself sweating. Here it is again. Standing up after another bolt of pain causes me to panic. Something must be terribly wrong. I have to call for help. There should be a guard at the end of the... What is happening? Korewa non desu ka? Am I finally getting through? Great heavens above, that took years. Who is it? I stop in my tracks and my eyes widen. At first I think it's someone outside my cell talking to me, but... Hello? Nobody's there. The voice sounded as if it was echoing in my head. My body finishes tensing up, and I feel a chill run down my spine. Great heavens above, that took years. Is this metaphor refantasio? Hello? Nobody's there. The voice sounded as if it was echoing in my head. My body finishes tensing up, and I feel a chill run down my spine. Am I dreaming? ... No, this isn't a dream. There's just something about it that feels different. It feels strange. Another horrible shock of pain slithers through my nerves, this time causing me to collapse onto the bench, similar to last night. My vision is slowly fading, but so does everything else. The sound of wind. The smell of a musty cell. All my senses have been shut down. Am I dying? ... Am I dead? No. I'm entirely sure that if I was dead, either something or nothing would have happened by now. Right now, I'm just floating. This was the afterlife. Being trapped alone with my thoughts would surely send me over the edge. Must be dreaming again. ... Nothing's happening. For the briefest moment, I feel and think nothing. It's pure bliss. What is happening? He's morbing. We are certified morbing. Is this where Lyre really begins? Suddenly my vision is flooded with bright colors. A vortex spirals ahead of me, spinning rapidly and constantly changing. There are colors I've never even seen before. Wind blows in my face and causes my clothes and hair to flow behind me in a chaotic fashion. What the hell is going on? Usually my dreams aren't this crazy. I look down at the ground and realize there isn't any, which causes me to fall to my knees in shock. Whatever I'm standing on seems like a thin sheet of glass, but it's too perfect to be anything like that. It's as smooth as silk and seems to run like water. A shimmering mist flies out from behind me where my legs touch the ground. It's not unlike how a ship leaves a wake as it cuts through the water. My hands press into the glass firmly and it feels cold. It's not painful though. No matter how hard I press my hands into it, they won't sink beneath the surface. I consider this a good thing though, because on the other side is a chasm of spiraling colors. I slowly get up to and stand on my feet. The wind is howling in my ears and there's a bright light up ahead, so bright that it hurts to look at. Along with the sound of the wind is echoing voices and noises. Some sounds that are familiar, others I've never even heard before. Bright embers that resemble stars float down from above and fly behind me at high speed. Look behind me, and it's the same as in front. An endless chasm of tints and tones spinning like a whirlpool. Chills run down my back, causing me to physically shiver. This is beautiful, yet terrifying. Nobody's here from what I can tell. That doesn't stop me from calling out though. Hello? My voice echoes down the tunnel, repeating everything back to me as if mocking me. Is anyone there? Again, nothing but my own voice answering back with the same phrase. Amidst the mockery, there's another voice. You seem awfully calm. Usually most spend their first moments either throwing up or shouting into the void with terror. It's that voice again. Where are you? Over here. Who is this? Guys, what is happening? What is happening? I turn the face forward, and I have to strain my neck to look up. Before me stands a creature of large size, shrouded in bright, viridescent flames. I alone would have to stand on Lyle's shoulder in order to be at eye level with them. Their fur is also shrouded in an unnatural dark shadow, completely unaffected by the blaze of flames behind them. They have like 2 tails? This is like a normal kitty tail. He looks like a kitty, right? This is like a normal kitty tail. This tail looks less kitty. Maybe he's part dragon or something, I don't know. He has a cut across his chest. He has the tesseract. Completely unaffected by the blaze of flames behind them. Each tuft shines and reflects in the light, like a perfectly polished piece of flint, with teal sparks flying off. It's a mesmerizing and terrifying sight, and I sense a powerful energy coming off them. 6 arms. Okay, he has 6 arms. 6 arms come out from their upper torso, each one looking different from the last. Not only that, but there's also 2 tails. Their teal eyes pierce into my soul, but have a soft look to them. The last thing I notice is a shimmering green crease running across their pectoral, along with a glowing crest of tigran on their belly. Guys, I have so many questions. Guys, this character is insane. This character is insane. This part never changes, though. Are you done staring? Their voice is masculine and strong, but has a mellow tone to it. Not as threatening as their physical appearance. You'll have to forgive me. I'm finding it very hard not to. One of their sets of arms cross, and the other set places their paws firmly on their hips. You're not the first, all is forgiven. The sparks from the flames on their back fly by my face. But if any are landing on me, they certainly don't hurt. Am I dreaming? There's a dreadfully long pause before they answer. It's complicated, but no. This isn't a dream, Richter. You know me? Of course. I know a lot of things. Is this God? Who is this? Most of it is useless, but it has its moments. They talk a lot. Almost like a child talking to an adult in a very fast manner. Am I dead? This time they answer immediately. No, you're not dead. Then what's going on? What's going on? I also want to know what's going on. This character's crazy. Is this God? This probably isn't God. He has the crest of Tigran? They have the crest of Tigran. They're calling them they. Look at them tails. Are those like feathers? Who is this guy? Person. Who is this person? The wind around us rushes faster, changing current in an unpredictable way. The sound is loud but not oppressive. Shimmering dust flies out from under their padded feet and blows past me like a sandstorm. Richter, I'm gonna explain this in a way that's easy to understand, but it will be shocking. I somehow doubt you'll have too much trouble understanding this, though. Understanding what? That you are a very gifted person. How so? Richter isn't like the Messiah or something, right? Is Richter the chosen one? Richter isn't the chosen one. They're not gonna make him the chosen one. He's just like... Let's see. That you are a very gifted person. What are they talking about? No, I'm not. What gift could I possibly have? Yes, you are. You might even consider it a curse. That depends on how you use it. Use what? They take a moment to answer, crossing a set of their arms. Have you ever had dreams that seem real? Experiences that are not your own. I hold up a paw. Has there ever been a moment where you've been attacked by terrible headaches and sharp pains? Yes, once or twice, but... A shiver runs up my body, and the legs I've been kneeling on begin to feel weak. These are just nightmares. Coincidences. They point at me. Is that truly what you believe? Or is that just what you want to believe? This question sits in my ears and blocks out the noise of everything else around me. They're right, these aren't just coincidences. And deep down, I've always known that. What's going on? You have an ability. You may not consider yourself a special person, but you have a very special ability, and I'm here to guide you through controlling it. What is happening? What is going on? Right? Richter dozes off to sleep. Richter dozes off to sleep, travels to the ethereal realm, where he encounters maybe God, who teaches him how to use the Force. You gonna tell me what this is? Since your birth, you have had the ability to see beyond the present. Those dreams you had were visions, Richter. Visions of the past from others' perspective. Nani? That's not possible. It's... How could that even work? I think back to the horrible nightmare I had about Raynar. Was that? You've had this ability your whole life, but over time it has weakened. Is this life as strange? The potential for this power becomes weaker with each person who inherits it. The potential of this power becomes weaker with each person who inherits it. What are you talking about? The span of time that a mortal has been able to inherit it has increased to just above 100 years. Most of your race has likely forgotten about these individuals. What are you talking? You're only just now having clear visions, but you're not able to control them. That is why I am here. My head feels light, and the feeling in my feet is completely gone. Who are you? You don't know who I am yet? This was expected. To your people, I am known and named for many things. No. What are you talking about? The Creator, the Supreme Being. I am even referred to as a demon on more than one occasion. But I am simply the one who built upon the foundation of this world. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? The one who guides everything, yet has no control. Tigran. He's a tiger? It is Tigran. It's Tigran because he's a tiger. And it's Dries because it's dry because it's a desert. Is this guy God? Guys. A short pause follows after my outburst before they respond. What? The wind begins to slow down, becoming a light breeze, and the color around us slow down, like a wheel on a cart. You're Tigran, aren't you? The god that created our world? The one who our continent is named after. Oh, is this not Tigran? The wake of dust flying out beneath us is now a gentle cloud of sand. It's relieving to not have the sound of wind in my ears anymore, but now this area feels empty. Oh, okay, it is Tigran. He's Tigran because he's a tiger. Yes, I am Tigran. I am the god of your world, but here I am just a guide. You hold almost as much power here as I do. And this form you've taken, it's a trick? A trick of the light. Before me now stands a tiger, vibrant and strong with glowing green eyes. They're not just a tiger, though. Their form is made up of 3 different animals from what I can tell. The second animal is some sort of reptile. It looks like a snake from the tail, but I could be wrong. Are there snake people in Tigran? In the Lyre universe, is there snake people? The last animal is a bird. Large winged hands that are as yellow as honey sprout from beneath their other sets of arms. They're completely naked, but have no reproductive organs. How did you know I was your god? He's God? There's no way he's God. This isn't God. Richter doesn't fall asleep and meet God. There's no way. He's just straight up God. He's like the demiurge. He founded reality itself. No way. There's no way he's like that powerful. Like maybe like a demigod or something. But he guides all. He who guides all. But he doesn't actually have that much power? I don't know. Who is this person? Who is this guy? How did you know I was your god? Most don't figure it out that fast. Especially not the non-religious ones. I haven't been to a place of worship in years, but I remember your form being that of a chimera. I also recognize the symbol on your torso. I say this, lightly pointing to the triangle on their belly. Oh, is this like the Three Kingdoms? This has intense implications for the fantasy world building discussion from last time. Interesting. And I thought you weren't able to keep a level head in dire situations. They chuckled to themselves, each belt booming throughout the cavern. What do you mean cavern? It just came to me, I suppose. If it's okay, I'd like to take up more of your time by asking some more questions. Time doesn't pass here. Well, for me it doesn't, but if you come here unconscious, then it will. So I am asleep. Is this the heavens, afterlife? They shake their head. No. The afterlife is a completely different ordeal. Something I won't explain to you. It would end up being a burden. They raise a hand. This is your mind's eye. The place where you can transcend time in your body. They gesture around with their arms. It's your sanctuary. My sanctuary? Why is it so calm now? It is yours. It will react to your emotions and your thoughts. I studied the way the walls of this tunnel move slowly. Almost as if they're barely moving at all. I've never seen it get calm this fast. I walk up to one of the curved walls of the chasm and run my fingers along the side. They cut into the wall, and on the other side is more layers of light. Dust flies off my hands, similar to the floor. Had a lot to stress about lately. I'm all out of room in my head to fret about this, especially since I don't know what this means for me yet. They put on a quizzical expression. What this means for you? I know you're doing your best to explain this, but it's also a lot to take in. Along with that, my mind tends to wander a lot. That's okay. This isn't something you could comprehend in a day. Not only that, but I'm a bit restricted. Restricted? They raise a hand to their chest and run a finger along the glowing scar. A punishment from the higher gods. Tigran's scar? Oh, the place on the map. I remember that the mountain range northwest of Erin was named for religious regions, but I didn't think it was that important. Yes. Stops me from giving away too much information to mortals. Past events caused great chaos and left me punished. So you can share your wisdom with me, but not direct knowledge. They frown. Yes. The collective knowledge of this world is something you will have to attain yourself. It's not something I can give you. All the collective knowledge of the world? That could make someone extremely powerful. But something feels off. There must be a catch. Earlier you said this was a curse. Something that could either help or burden me. Their eyes brighten and I can see they've been eager to have this brought up. That I did. This ability is extremely powerful. The higher gods sometimes question me for bestowing it. Their tails swish as they scratch their chin with a tiger paw. But the world needs someone to act as their guide. Is... The implications. There's so many implications. Guide them towards a brighter future by making sure the mistakes of the past are not repeated. This power should only be used for the greater good. Any avatar who uses it for selfish intentions is punished, and the cycle grows weaker. The breeze around me sends a chill up my spine as they say this. So I'll ask you this one question. I ask it of everyone. Everything around me slows, even the mist between my feet. Beneath, if you could see any event from the past, In any event from the future, what would they be? And answer truthfully, I'll know if you're lying. I look down at the ground and attempt to think about this question hard. This is always so much fun. I guess I'll start with the first. If I could see any event from the past, what would it be? To be honest, the first thing that comes to mind is what I've been questioning for the past day. Who killed Raynar? Is that a selfish thought? Is that selfish, though? No, I don't think it is. I just want justice for our king. This isn't just to save myself. This isn't about me. But what would I do if I could see the future? Tigran didn't mention being able to see the future. Maybe it's a trick question. I'm ready to answer. Good, go on. If I could see anything in the past, I'd want to see who murdered our king. Not for the safety of myself, but for the justice of his kingdom. An interesting answer. And about the future. I gather my thoughts and continue. The future is more difficult. The possibilities are endless, and there's no event that is set in stone. But in a theoretical sense, I suppose I wish to see a tragic event before it happens, so that I could prevent it. Tigran bites her lower lip with curiosity before responding. That's a unique response. It isn't the first time I've heard it, though. Step back. Thank you for answering my question. You have provided me with great insight. So it's true, then? Stop in their tracks and look down at me. Can I really see the past? Is it really possible for me to figure out who killed my king? They rub their chin with one of their hands and look at me with a concerned gaze. Yes, it is possible, but you will need to train. Right now, your experience only allows you to see distant memories. And this has only happened because of certain triggers. Hearing them say this reminds me of how I had that vision of Elena's death right before hearing about it. That happened 10 years ago. Anything recent would be hard to grasp. A twisted memory of the past. They sigh. For the past month, you've been becoming your own person more and more. No longer are you an onlooker or a passerby. You finally removed your mask. Okay? We'll speak again soon. How? I have a feeling you already know. Guys, this is nutso. This is crazy. And with that, their figure slowly fades away, the light behind them refracting through their body like glass. At first, I'm lost, not knowing what to do next, but then I feel an empty pain in my stomach. I can feel my eyes physically gleam with light as everything around me closes. I hear one last thing before I'm enveloped in comforting darkness. Your eyes can see beyond the horizon. Beyond the skyline. Use this. Insane. Never in a million years. Never in a million years would I have predicted anything that's happened in this story. Like, he falls asleep and talks to almost God. He falls asleep and talks to almost God about his vision. You can't call it future vision because we don't know if you can see into the future yet, but I'm back in the cell. My head is leaning up against the wall and my body is sprawled out on the stone bench. The stone bench. My body feels completely exhausted, but not in a sleepy way. Was I dreaming? I lift myself up slightly and look out the window. The sun's rays are still being cast over the mountain like a golden crown. Time didn't pass. Even if I only slept a wink, the light from the sun shouldn't be visible at all. So it was real. Either that or I'm crazy. Can I really see into the past? It would be funny if everything Richter saw there was just a delusion of his own mind. Right. Right? Richter didn't actually talk to God. He's just kind of like... He's just kind of like... I don't know. He's just going through it. Right? What if Richter... What if he's actually like... He's like... I don't know. What if he's actually suffering from like a mental illness? Where he's just like hallucinating shit. And like... doing stuff without knowing it. That'd be crazy. That's not true, but that'd be crazy if it was true. It would make sense considering everything that's happened. The vision that I had where I was looking through Raynar's eyes was too real. Does that mean I could do it again? See back in time and figure out who killed him? I can't see how it would help me, though. Not like anyone would believe me. Take the ring off my finger and fiddle with it in my hands, sliding it on and off, watching it gleam in the moonlight. Focusing on objects helps me think. Is this like... See another object gleam in the light. It's a shimmering object stuck in one of the piles of straw like it's being hidden. Walking over to it, I reach up and pull out a small shard of glass. Is this Pokemon Mystery Dungeon? Is this Explorers of Sky? Is this PMD2? No, it's a piece of mirror, about as big as a spearhead. Maybe someone was going to use it as a weapon. I lift it up to my face and look into it to see a reflection. It's Richter. The shard has scratched the hell, and there's not a very clear image. My face is slightly warped in the reflection, but I can make out everything. My hair's a bit disheveled. I look like I haven't slept in 2 days. He's so sad. Something does strike me as odd. I swear my eyes were green. Now that I get a closer look, they're blue. An extremely bright and vibrant blue, almost like diamonds. They were green before, I swear they were. Suddenly, I think back to Tigran said a few minutes ago. You finally removed your mask. Maybe there's a correlation to my eyes changing color and those visions. A side effect of some sort. This is so weird. He has magic premonition powers, or non-premonition powers, that changes eyes colors. That changes eye color. I placed the mirror shard deeper into the straw pile I got it from, making sure nobody would be able to see it. I've still got the ring in my hand and walked back over to the bench, sitting down on it with my back to the window. I feel stuck. Like everything that's happened so far has led me here, and now I can't do anything. My only hope is to try and see the past. I've done it before, I know I have. This isn't a trick, and I need to start believing it. Even if nobody believes me. I can try to figure out evidence. Proof that can be used against the killer. Even so, I have some solace in knowing who the killer is before I'm executed. Even so, I can have some solace in knowing who the killer is before I'm executed. A tremble shoots up my body as I think about being walked to the chopping block. That won't happen. I'll find a way. And I'll have Lyle to help me along the way. Live by one's wits. Who was that? At first it sounds like Tigran is speaking to me, but they don't sound like that. The voice is muffled and twisted, as if someone were to grab the words and wring them out like a rag, and yet they feel familiar, like I've heard them before. Live by one's wits. Advice, maybe? Another past memory sent to torture my mind with riddles is more likely. Makes me almost wish I didn't have this skill. Richter. I shake my head slightly and focus on the ring again. Need to play this smart. Can't go around acting like a fool anymore. This is the forest, and I am the fox being burnt out of its den. My only hope is to find another way to tunnel out. I'm gonna need help from those I trust. Interesting. Chapter 8, Day 25. Part 1, Lyle. This stuff's crazy. Oh, are we gonna get Lyle's perspective? Are we gonna get Lyle's perspective so that we don't so that we don't have to watch Richter sit in a cell for 5 years, right? Is this third person? This is third person. Do I have to do third person narration now? Do I have to change the voice? Lyle's eyes feel heavy as he suddenly wakes up. Yet another night of restless sleep. As he shifts his legs around underneath the warm covers, cold air flows under them, sending a fresh feeling up his body. His feet are cold, and he brings his legs closer to himself. I don't want you. Aw, he's so purty. Ain't he purty? He's really purty. He's really purty. Right? His snoot is so boopable. Kissable, too. Really kissable snoot. He purty. That's your purty wolf right there. The heat from his body should be enough to keep him warm. Not to mention his fur. However, it feels like the cold has been getting worse. He hugs one of the pillows tightly to his body to keep warm. The feeling of warmth that's usually carried with him has been diminished these past few days. The rest of his senses have finally started to kick in, and a strong sensation begins to overtake him. It's a scent. Richter. Aww. He's sharp. He's noticed that every time he shifts around in his bed, Richter's scent invades his senses. It's been a few days since their intimacy, yet his smell still lingers. It's not a bad smell by all means. Richter usually smelled so nice. The scent isn't artificial either. It's a natural aroma. Thinking about Richter causes a flood of recent memories to flow through his mind. For the past few days, every time he wakes up, he feels as if each memory smacks him in the face all over again, reminding him about everything that's happened with no remorse. It almost feels unbelievable, and sometimes he'll wake up in the morning and he's still coming to. He'll feel a moment of pure bliss and hope that it was all just a nightmare. It wasn't a nightmare, though. If only it was. His eyes are starting to well up with tears, and he doesn't know if they're watering from waking up, or if it's because of sorrow. It's your poor puppy. Poor puppy. To be honest, most of his worries come from thinking about Richter. Feels awful knowing that he wasn't able to go and visit Richter yesterday. Lately, the whole castle has been in an uproar. He's barely had a chance to sit down. He knows that Richter is strong, but he just can't bear the thought of him being thrown down there. Richter is definitely being fed, but still a terrible place to be. He doesn't deserve it. Sometimes he wishes he could take his place and be the one that was thrown in the cell. He cares for Richter an awful lot, but somehow that doesn't feel like it has anything to do with this notion. That actually be interesting. Huh. Actually, wait, no. That's what happens in Adastra. I was gonna say it'd be interesting if it was, like, flipped and, like, Lyle let himself be framed in place of Richter or something, and then it was, like, Richter's job to, like, free Lyle. But that's kind of what happens in Adastra, right? So never mind. Cares for Richter an awful lot, but somehow that doesn't feel like it has anything to do with this notion. He wholeheartedly believes that Richter was not the one who did it. Knowing this makes a sense of justice swell up inside of him. He cannot allow such a form of injustice to happen. He'll do anything that he can to help Richter. Not just because of love, but because of loyalty. Lyle adjusts himself to get up from bed, and the scent invades his nose once more. It's almost intoxicating, and reminds him of all the fond memories he's made so far. With his free paw, he traces his finger from his groin, across his navel and up to his abdomen. The night when Richter was inside of him was the closest he had ever been with anyone. Oh. Oh, okay. Both physically and emotionally. Right, nothing in particular happened, right? Right, remember, right, the narrator is talking about that Lyle and Richter did something. But it wasn't actually that crazy. Nothing in particular happened, remember. He had never felt such strong feelings like those until now. He's sure of it. Never has he been so connected with someone who truly understands him. The bed beneath him creaks as he slides his legs off the end and swings them down onto the ground. His padded feet brush the cold floor and send a shiver up his spine as a chilly draft blows over his naked body. This doesn't worry him too much, though, knowing that the air will eventually warm up as the day marches on. Carefully, Lyle stands up and stretches his legs by walking around, giving his body a chance to fully wake up. He only slept for about 3 hours instead of the usual 4 or 5. He feels refreshed, though, and that's all that matters. It's always the short rests that feel the longest. He takes a few steps around his bed and looks out the window. Crisp snow has piled on the sill, and the morning sun shimmers through the top of it like crystals. The room has a dull and cozy glow to it, which contrasts with the colorful morning sky outside. Lyle swiftly walks to the other side of his room near the door, puts on a long cotton coat. Lifting the coat up and sliding his arms into the sleeves allows him to get a whiff of his own body. It's not a terrible smell, but he could definitely use a bath. The last one he took was the quick one he had right before everything fell apart. He'd like to visit Richter later, and wouldn't want to smell unclean. He'll also have time to attend Prince Adrius's coronation. That's supposed to happen sometime this morning, so we should have time to wash afterwards. Al then takes a pair of underwear and slides them on, along with a pair of thick trousers. Taking another look around his room, he notices that everything is still the way it was that night. The fire is out and the bed sheets are disheveled, but everything else is still in place. Even the ballroom clothes that were thrown on the ground in a pile are still bundled up on the floor against his bed. It's like a memory frozen in time. Gathering up a few things, he made a motion for the door before noticing something. There's a piece of parchment face down on the ground that's been slid under the door. He bends over and picks it up, flipping it over to read. Lyle. Oh, it's from Leaf. Lyle, meet me in my study after the coronation. I need to talk to you about something in private. Please. Leaf. Leaf Erikson. Leaf wants to meet him after the coronation? Why? Whatever it is, he hopes it isn't more bad news. He walks... I like that kind of narration, where it's like narrating... Because usually the narrator's omniscient, right? But I like it when the narrator is like narrating the like thoughts of a character like tangentially, you know? Because the narrator should know why Leaf wants to see Lyle out after the coronation. But I like that the narrator like assumes the character of Lyle. The narrator assumes the character of someone who isn't omniscient. I don't know. There's something kind of whimsical about it. Something kind of whimsical about it. He walks over to his dresser and locks the top drawer, throwing the letter inside. Whatever he wants to talk about most likely has nothing to do with what's going on, but this letter gives off a feeling of urgency. Most likely had to visit with him before seeing Richter. Not only that, but he still has work to do everywhere else. So Leaf is like a medical guy, right? Like, I wonder if he would have been involved with, like, the autopsy or whatever of Raynar's body. I wonder if it's something concerning that. He still has work to do everywhere else. Along with figuring out how to save Richter from being strung up by his neck. He shakes this horrible thought out of his mind as he goes for the door. He takes a few steps out into the hall and looks left and right, hoping that nobody is coming. The entire corridor is empty as he strides in the direction of the stairs leading to the bathroom. He's clothed, of course, but he would rather be alone with his thoughts right now. The private bath next to his room is ideal, but right now he'd have to use the one near Richter's room. It's comfortable and people rarely use it. Most things in the guest wing are usually better quality. It's honestly a good thing the coronation is today. Everyone in the castle is probably getting ready or already outside of the throne room. Even the staff is most likely prepping for some posh thing afterwards. Al wouldn't really know. He's never been to a coronation. The cold yet fresh air wafts onto his face as he emerges from the inner halls. Weather around this time of year is cold enough to chap his nose badly. He brings his paw up to his snout and breathes into them as he walks down each twist and turn of the hall. Right as he's coming up to the bathing room door, he spots Richter's room down the hall. The door is still propped open. They're probably still conducting a search of the place. He would have been part of it, but they asked him not to intervene since he was so close with Richter. He was a bit offended by it, but tried not to let it bother him. Swiftly, he steps into the bathroom, escaping the cold. His padded feet simply touch the damp floor, and he has to stop himself from slipping as he steps through the doorway. But yeah, someone pointed out to me that, like, the windows, like one window, like the windows all represent the different kingdoms. So this one's Lyre, this one's Aaron, and this one's probably Dries, right? So that's pretty cool. I never noticed that. There's someone in the comments. Thank you, commenter. His padded feet immediately touch the damp floor, and he has to stop himself from slipping as he steps through the doorway. The room echoes as the door shuts behind him in a soft thud. Everything smells the way it usually does, The room is cast in the glow of colorful light from the windows above. The white marble shines even brighter because of it. Walking over to the levers, he pulls on the ones he usually uses. I like how it, talks about the, smell and stuff of everything more, because it is from, Lyle's perspective, and, scent is a more, important sense and everything. It's pretty neat. He pulls the water one all the way down, and then takes the one that says oils, and pulls it down just a little bit. Along with pulling the soap lever down, of course. He watches as the water begins to funnel out of the faucets at the top. The scent of coconuts and natural plant aromas invade his senses as the water splashes to the bottom of the already damp pool. He begins to take off his clothes and sets them on the bench nearest to the door. Nobody's here right now, so there's no need to go to the changing room. Gently, he steps into the tub and lowers himself to the hot water. It's a relaxing feeling that envelops his whole body. He dunks his head under the water and scrubs with his paws all around his fluff. Sorry, I was giggling for a second because this is very mundane. It's just Lyle taking a bath. So I wonder if something's gonna important. I wonder if something important's gonna happen while he's in the bath, or maybe it's just letting us see what a life in the day of Lyle is like. It's pretty neat. He brings his head up from underneath the waters and imagines that he looks like a wet mop. He shakes his head a bit, splattering water everywhere and slightly drying his head fur. After that, he lays back against the wall of the pool and lets the water rush around him. This environment allows him to truly think. At least, as long as nobody bothers him. After a few moments of sitting there in the warm pool of water, he realizes something. Even though he has the determination to do it, how is he going to help Richter? This is the first time he saw this? He's no detective. Damn it. He begins to slowly scrub himself down, cleaning himself thoroughly. Going around and asking questions would certainly help, but who would he start with? He contemplates for a moment before remembering something. The dagger that was found at the scene of the crime has intrigued him ever since he first laid eyes on it. It looked like an ordinary dagger at first glance, but something seems off about it. Unique in a way. He has to figure that out sooner or later. Where did that dagger come from? Also, I'm assuming that one guy that killed, the Queen Elena is going to come back up at some point. Right? Just because he kind of, seems like a main villain. I assume that guy's coming back at some point. I don't know if he's, involved with Reynard's death, but I don't know. He seemed, too important to not, come back into the story. But maybe he was just, a one-time antagonist for that event only. It's hard to tell. Where did that dagger come from? Maybe he would figure out who the owner was. Dan. Dan would be the best person to talk to. He supplies the best weapons in the village and is a master of his craft. He's made weapons for the highest nobles around, including being the one who crafted Reynard's sword. He should know at least something. Lyle rises a bit from the water with a feeling of triumph now that he has a clearer goal in mind. He'll clear Richter's name. He has to. He finishes cleaning himself and gets out of the bath. His fur is now sleek and shines a rich brown color in the morning light. Water drips off of his body and onto the slippery floor, creating small puddles around him. He walks over to the levers and resets them, allowing the water to stop and the pool to drain. Walking over to the bench, he takes a dry towel off of the clean pile and begins to lightly dry his fur, but not too much. He doesn't want to get rid of the oils in his fur that help keep it shiny and smooth. Once he's done patting himself down with the towel, he places it in the basket and broadens its stance. Then proceeds to shake his body, mostly his head, like how a dog would when they are wet. Water flings off of him, creating a thick mist cloud, and his fur fluffs up for a moment, before laying back down on his body. He wouldn't dream of doing something like that in front of someone else. He usually tends to keep his canine tendencies to himself, and refrains from acting in such way in front of people. After that little bit of theatrics, he dresses himself, dry clothes sticking to his damp body, and then leaves through the door. okay, I think we'll end this episode here. I'm not actually sure how long this episode was. I'm not sure how long this specific episode was. I don't know if I'm gonna like break it up any yet or anything, but I think we'll end this episode here and we'll pick back up next time, because quite frankly, a lot of crazy stuff happened. A lot of crazy stuff happened that I could have never conceived happening in like a million years. Yeah, but anyway, I miss Raynar. I miss King Raynar. Pretty hecked up. Pretty messed up, I hope. I hope Richter will be able to get set free soon. They and Lyle can help figure out this, I don't know, this like murder mystery we have on our hands. Yeah, it's pretty screwed up. Well, anyway guys, thank you.